You see me sitting on the terrace of the new house where we have settled finally, where all the art was attached to the walls to the satisfaction of Tanya. We have a guest room where we have friends and we've used it already a lot, so we're very happy. Thanks to Gerald Bowler generosity in allowing us to rent this house for a very, very small rent. First, Victor was 14 years old on the 20th of October, and he's an absolute blessing to us. My health is okay. I'm still battling a little bit with trying to get back into sports, but it seems to go well. So I'm quite happy. So we as a team are quite, I've gone through a bit of tension lately, and this is of course handling the littleness of our humanity. But we've again, God has helped us to go through, and we're coming out stronger and closer in more trust and more unity. So quite happy on not a nice moment, but necessary and with good results. Our workforce is doing well. We've reckoned we're not spending enough time on them in terms of giving them more of the gospel and more of Jesus and more of his culture, but we've now decided to meet every Monday at 12 and we give them a lunch. It was actually a good idea between Johan, Billy and I, and that's worked already once and it's worked very well. Second time it's perfect, and from there on Billy does his character teaching and we have the opportunity to meet all together, the staff of Crown and the staff of Mustard, and that's very beneficial for what we call the kingdom culture, which we're trying to give them as much as we can in spite of our own littleness, if I can say.
Yeah, we are happy to be here in Blantyre. We've come down to visit for a few days, and this has been very special, especially for our family. We sometimes felt a little bit isolated, especially the children. So it's been very special for them to visit friends down here in Blantyre. We started our trip in Zomba, which was great, to visit Johannes and Marika Bos, and to go out to the training center they have at Malawi, and to see the work they're doing there, and the work they've started with the brick machine, making blocks. And also what was special for me being there was the relationship with the chief, which they have there. And I'd really like to see that modeled where we're working in an area up in the north, in Mzuzu, an area called Mzimba. So we'll pray for doors to open like that. And the rest of the trip we spent down here in Chikamula, Blantyre, where it was really good to be with Johan and Charles and their families. And it was a very special time. Up in Mzuzu, we've been involved in training, where we've been working in the area called Mzimba, where we've been doing foundations for farming training. On the site there at Rosefall, the station, we had an open day a month ago. This was really a good time, where we had about 50 people come around, and there's been a lot of interest. A lot of people from the government, extension officers who've come, who've shown interest and also come to the training and have sent people. I'm also working with an extension officer, Mac Mahangu, whom I'm able to go out and do the training, who also has a lot of experience in the area there.
Yeah, so although we can testify of God's provision and His goodness, there are many people who are now starting to suffer hunger in the rural communities because of the poor harvest last year or last season. Many people have already run out of food. So we've started with some food distributions already in this month, and that's going to continue up to February. So we've been given a big consignment of spaghetti from a distribution company here with a Christian manager, and that's been a real blessing to distribute that among some of the needy widows in our direct environment here. And then we also as a church purchased 100 sacks of maize that we're going to start distributing soon also among the needy.
In terms of the business, well, we've been this month has been very important. We've done the first move towards Zambia. We have to import honey now because our beekeepers are unreasonably greedy, and the price they're charging us is not allowing us to sell or to export. And so we have already got about 11 tons from Zambia, but this month we're going back for 2 or 3 weeks to get an extra 24 tons for the contract we signed with InScore, which is 2 tons a month for the next 12 months, which will secure a good cash flow, a good income, and possibly which will allow us to grow the honey even further as the borders in Zimbabwe open again, because they've closed down. We lost 30 tons of export to Zimbabwe because Mugabe has closed down the imports of honey and other products because he wants all this to be produced in Zimbabwe, but possibly a bit too fast. Well, so we'll see. God is in control. We're not worried. We're not scared. We're just adapting and keeping our vision in front of us and doing the best we can. Aside from that, we believe that our vision is quite on track. We're continuing to, we've got 17 employees by now, so we are creating jobs, and we are spending time and effort in giving them the culture of Jesus.
Mushroom production is going well. We're using maize stalks as a substrate. This is a waste material really that people around us would just be burning, but we are chopping that up and sterilizing it through a steaming process and putting it in bags and growing mushrooms from it. And we're harvesting quite a lot of mushrooms at the moment, selling it among our friends and close acquaintances. We also started building more solar dryers because we see that these dryers are working so well. So there are other people who started to order solar dryers from us too. And we're also starting to sell compost manure. For the honey, that we will just bring the temperature up. Very nice. Kevin,
Sir.
good job, eh?
Yeah.
One other thing which is incredible is that this building now is really taking shape. The roof is on. The first floor is almost finished. It's amazing, and I'm sure Johan will give you more details, but as usual with his creativity and his artistic sense, it's a beautiful building. And so we're very excited, and now we're getting really wanting to be the building to be finished so we can move in the cheese and move in the offices, and this will glorify God for sure.
As you can see behind me here, we are making good progress with the building, but it's very slow. The month of October was also full of power cuts, so the electricity corporation in Malawi, I think for the last 2 weeks, almost every day has failed to give us power. They have big challenges in refurbishing the hydro power plant down in the Shiri Valley. But that has really put us back in our planning with the construction, because there's still a lot of welding to be done on the trusses for the verandas and so forth, and the upstairs deck. So that has put us back a bit, but the building looks beautiful as far as it is. All the floors are in now, the roof is basically up. And yeah, the month of October was a good month. It was also my birthday, so we had lots of birthdays this month. And yeah, God's just reminded us about all His goodness. When we look back in our time in Malawi now, our 16th year, and all the things He's done, how faithful He's been, then we just have a very thankful heart. That's also the character trait we're starting with for the month of November, is gratefulness. So really from our hearts, we just want to say to everyone who is watching this video, who has been praying for us or supporting us, just encouraging us in whatever way you've done, thank you, and we're very grateful for your friendship, your partnership, And may God bless you so wonderfully and richly.